Today, let's collect Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another episode in our Let's Collect series. Today we're talking about Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan. She's a relatively new character, first introduced just back in 2014, so she's only been around for about 6 years, but we already know that she has a Disney Plus show coming, so she is going to be part of the MCU. Most likely there will be a movie or some sort of follow-up after that. She's been a very popular character since she's been introduced. Another kind of teenage character along the themes of Spider-Man that's a little more modern and up-to-date that fans have really taken a liking to, especially younger fans. So today we're going to go through her key comics, her best storylines, and those cool covers of Kamala Khan. As always, this is a kind of a starter guide. It's not meant to be all comprehensive, but it's going to cover most of the keys, covers and stories for this character because she hasn't been around that long. So, without further ado, let's get into the key comics for Kamala Khan. First up, we have Captain Marvel number 14. She actually appears in cameo in this. It's just one panel. You see her face. Captain Marvel tells her and some other people to take cover. She doesn't speak, but that is her first cameo appearance. There is a hard-to-find 1 in 30 variant of this. Beware, there's an Italian version of this that doesn't go for very much, but this book is hard to find and it's very expensive. Her second cameo appearance is in Captain Marvel 17. In this one, you see her like kind of using her powers, but she again doesn't speak, and you actually don't even see her face in that particular one. There's another 1 in 20 variant of that's hard to find, doesn't go for quite as much as that other one, but this Thor variant is pretty hard to find and does go for pretty good value. The big money book, though, is this Captain Marvel 17 second print, her first cover appearance. It's still that same cameo inside, but she is on the cover, and this is the book most people go after. But her first full appearance is technically in All New Marvel Now .1. There is a second print of this that looks the same, except it's blue where this one's red. And this book has some pretty good value for people to go after. And there actually is a 1 in 75 variant of this that is super hard to find and goes for big money as well. Her first solo title is, of course, Ms. Marvel number 1 from 2014. This has numerous printings. It commands pretty decent value at $150 to $200. And like I said, lots of printings of this. And there are actually some variants. This 1 in 50 Adams variant, raw goes for over $100. No 9.8 sales of this one. This is another pretty tough to find book. This 1 in 100 is also very tough to find, but it really has sold recently for fairly cheap. Not sure why this one, either people don't know what they have, or not sure why this one's not commanding similar value to some of the others. And finally, we have the design variant to Ms. Marvel number 1. Again, this goes for a little bit less than the regular main cover, but another key book if you're looking for Kamala Khan. Next, we have Champions number 1. This is kind of this first team that she's a part of and has been a big part of her run. This book can be found for cover price, as can her first appearance in the Avengers, which is All New, All Different Avengers number 3. Again, another cover price book, but a fun key if you're collecting Kamala Khan. The Magnificent Ms. Marvel is kind of a change in title. She actually had 2 runs as Ms. Marvel, where Marvel relaunched it as a new number 1. This is technically the 3rd series with her, but the first of that title. And finally, these previews show up again. All New Marvel Now preview number 2 has a preview appearance of Kamala. So those were our key comics. Her first appearance is a little spread out. The result is there's a lot of books that you can change. There's a lot of books that are got quite a bit of value. Between being spread out over multiple issues and having incentives and variants and that kind of stuff, definitely a lot of books there to chase if you're interested in Kamala Khan. So with that, we're going to move on into the storylines. Now, she hasn't been around that long, and generally, if you look on the web, it's just like start at the beginning and just read. When it comes to the best stories for this character. And I think that's definitely a path you could take, but I went on and recommended a few of the trades, specifically, and a few of the storylines. So with that, let's get into the storylines for Kamala Khan. First up, we do have her initial run on Ms. Marvel No Normal, which is her origin. It's just a great launching point to the character, so definitely the place you should start if you're going to read Kamala Khan. Next, we have Volume 2 of that same run, which Generation Y, which collects both the Generation Y story and Healing Factor story, which is a fun story with her and Wolverine. It really just helps her find her place as a new hero. Super Famous, while Volume 5 in the trade list is actually the first volume from the second Ms. Marvel series, and it's really about finding her way when the world is turned on her. Mecca is a very timely story about community, faith, and hatred toward Muslims and other just like bigotry and that kind of stuff, and just an excellent story of her dealing with that as a hero. And Destin kicks off her run of the new Magnificent Ms. Marvel, a new direction, new writer for the first time, and just another fun place to start with Kamala. All right, so those were the stories. As you can see, I kind of just started at the beginning and then worked up to some of the newer stuff. Again, just starting at the beginning and reading through is not a bad strategy for this character because there's not that many volumes to read at this point. So now we're going to move into those cool covers. Not a ton to choose from, but for a character that hasn't been around that long, she actually has some pretty cool ones. Some I really like. So as always, these aren't in any particular order. Actually, they kind of are. I kind of just went down the list as they came out for the most part, at least within her title and then a few other titles that she has. So with that, let's look at those cool covers. First up, we have the 1 in 50 variant to Ms. Marvel number 2. This is a tough to get incentive cover that has high demand and commands big prices. Next, we have Ms. Marvel number 5, the main cover. I just really like the setup of this cover. Her looking out over the city. I just think it's a really cool cover, and it won't cost you that much. Next, we have a cover I really like that apparently no one else does. This is the Pascal New York City variant. You can get this for $5, but I think it's a really cool, pretty cover. Next is the hip-hop variant for Kamala Khan. This is done by Jenny Frison, and this is not too bad for one of these hip-hop variants, and just a cool, I really like the hip-hop variants, and this is a cool one. Next is a Michael Cho 1 in 20 incentive to Ms. Marvel number 4 from that 2016 relaunch, and I really am a big fan of Michael Cho's stuff, and I think that's a cool cover. Next is Ms. Marvel 25, a Miyazawa 1 in 25, and this is just what a hero is supposed to be. She's running toward the danger that everybody else is running from. Next is my favorite, and that is the Stephanie Hans B cover. There's also a version of this, so Ms. Marvel number 31. I just think that's a gorgeous cover. This Babs Tarr 1 in 25 to Magnificent Ms. Marvel number 1 is also a really cool cover. I just really like the setup here, and it commands decent money. This Alex Ross 1 in 100 to Champions number 1 is another really cool cover that also commands some pretty good value with her, Nova, and Miles Morales Spider-Man. And finally, this Art Germ Legacy exclusive doesn't command very much. I just think it's a lot of fun, so I threw it in there. Her and Hulk, he's flexing down, she's flexing up, and she's got the big fish. I think it's a cool cover. So that's your guide to the key comics, the best storylines, and the cool covers for Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there's any characters you'd like to see me focus on in the future, let me know in the comments, as I will be happy to do that. And we will catch you next time.